Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. And we're live! Hello everybody, and welcome to Gran Terra Rebirth. I'm John, the Game Master for the evening. Not Grandmaster, I almost said that. With me today is William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Boldrin Ironhand, Dwarven Cleric of the Forge.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Selena, the Fire Genasi wild mage sorcerer who is apparently in Infinity Wars if you're the Grandmaster.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Hope Azamar Rogue Barbarian.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm playing Agdrasol, the Elven Ranger, who I guess would be in Defenders by how much he drinks, but he actually smiles, so...
And Cody.
Hey, I'm Cody. I'm playing Corbin, the human battle master.
The human batter master.
Human batter master.
Hey,
we've ever such a pancakes here.
That's right.
And Jack.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and I play Stophalos, the Minotaur, who is the next best thing to a Grandmaster, a Drunken Master.
And when last we left our adventurers, they had set about to shop, having received many well-gotten gains from the seeming destruction of Kalen and his Shifting Sands Palace. The group set about drinking, reveling, having
revelry. There is no verb version of that word.
Having revelry.
You Philistines.
Reveling.
You revel.
Yeah.
Revel in the glory of Pelagiad.
Reveling. And spending their gold. They bought many magical items, seemingly in preparation to attempt Valkyr's challenge. The triad of whirlpools, situated outside the port town of Luxuria, between it and sort of in the middle of the water between it, the Dragon Peaks, and Tortpor. And so, as they leave the magic shop, lightened significantly of their purses, but weighed down with acquisitions of magical items, and the promise of more come the next day.
Lighten their purses is really, really generous.
I mean, even with the amount of money you guys have acquired, 5,000 gold less is 5,000 gold less, in the case of Baldrin.
and it has a certain level of mass.
Also lightened our purses in the acquisition of multiple bags of holding.
In
that they are
very
critically
light
lighter.
I did have a thought, like I always do at the end of the shopping trip. Can Staphylos have gotten like a wrist strap that runs between his trident and his wrist so that if he drops it, it's still attached, but he can still use it?
That would have only been like a couple copper, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can get a tether, basically. You tie around
you have the Wiimote tether, so you don't drop your Wiimote.
Yeah, exactly.
In this case, the Wiimote is
so I don't accidentally murder the dog.
What the fuck is wrong?
I'm a voice actor. I make funny noises.
That's not a funny noise.
An animal in distress is occasionally a funny noise.
Not in this context.
Like in John Wick?
No animals were harmed in the creation of those sounds.
My spirit animal was felt pain.
Humans are animals, yes.
Anyways, yes, you have a you have a tether to your trident now.
Okay, cool.
Bearing in mind, and yeah, you guys can go find a ship. Bearing in mind though that Agrisol's arrows won't be ready till the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you head to the docks.
We must speak to navigator people to know who is best chance of getting us through whirlpools to where we can then go swim to find ourselves to the challenge. Yes.
So give me an investigation roll. Anybody who's looking for a ship.
Ayo.
Yes.
Hot damn. 23. Natural 20.
9.
Let's check this out right.
23.
All right. So yes. With a 9, Baldrin, ship's a ship.
Yeah, I'm a dwarf. I don't know how ships work.
I mean, there are dwarves. There are dwarves that live on the ocean. You're not one of them.
I am not. I live in the opposite of the ocean. I live under a mountain.
You look around, you see a couple of dwarven ships, and you're like, "Hey, that'll do." Like, if dwarven craft work is universal, then a dwarven ship is a good ship. That's just the full extent of your thought. Agdrisol with a 14. None of these ships have wings. So, as far as you're concerned, they're all inferior.
Okay, that's not fair. The crystals on the airships were perfectly serviceable substitutes. I don't need everything to have wings.
Yeah. The airships are great.
I'm not entirely sure how you get around without flying.
Yeah. And the airships were great, but none of these are airships.
Living on the surface of the plane is kind of dumb.
Yeah,
You know.
and the airships are great, but none of these are airships. So, Hope and Staphylos, on the other hand, looking around and sort of identifying and talking with a few people and checking up with sort of itineraries, you find that no one is going to sail you out to the Valkyries Challenge.
No.
No one's that stupid.
You can certainly buy a boat, and they have a variety of boats available that they are willing to sell you that you could take into the Valkyries Challenge on your own. But no one's going to take you there.
Well, then let me approach on other hoof then. If you were to sell someone a ship that would be most likely to survive a trio of whirlpools and such things, hazardous though it be, and for the number of people we need to transit, what kind of ship would you recommend us getting? I suppose something small and nimble, yes?
Is there a submarine?
The answer you get is a prayer. None of the because you rolled a natural 20 with your investigation, which means you know how to ask the questions without getting lied to. Basically the information you get, and being one that's familiar with nautical vessels, being from Tuatapor, there is no vessel that is built well enough to survive the stress of going through those whirlpools. That's why people never come back. At least, so, like, the toughest ships on the sea would be a dwarven ship. A dwarven ship or a minotaur ship. Those are sort of the two best types of vessels you could find, but those are too massive to even approach the whirlpools. Anything smaller than that is going to break up by the force from their experience, and from that's part of why nobody goes there unless they're, that's part of why no actual sailors go there.
What you're saying is we need to purpose build a ship.
You could try to purpose build a ship that could do it, but there's nothing you could buy. Like, any of the things that are for sale, you can tell, and they would tell you, will break up shortly upon entering the triad. And
With
airships are a no-go because the whirlpools generate so much downward force,
They get
downward
sucked in.
pressure, that airships just get sucked down.
So with that information, I have a question for the GM.
I did too.
William first, and then we'll go to.
Mhm.
As a cleric of the forge, of crafting, of making things, and someone who has been inside and very interested in and examining the operation of an apparatus of Quailish.
That's what I was going to ask about.
Could I? It would probably take a long time. Like we're talking, skip a few months of preparation or whatever, or find some preparation time. Build a larger scale apparatus of Quailish that could fit the entire party and potentially survive the pressure of the whirlpool.
Give me a craftsman's tool. Give me a smithing tool roll using your intelligence with advantage.
All right, this is my field. Wrong stat, but my field. 10.
All right.
I rolled a 4. I rolled a natural 1 and a 4.
You imagine you could recreate the body of an apparatus of Quailish easily. The magic is slightly more outside your field. You would need an artificer of some kind, someone who uses arcane magic to create and craft magical items. With the aid of an artificer, you certainly could create one of these that's at a larger scale. You're not certain how long it would take. It would depend on the artificer.
The best artificer currently existing on the plane.
Mara?
I was just wondering if an apparatus of Quailish, like, by itself would be able to make it through that.
Make me a history roll.
Yeah. 4.
You don't. The only time you've ever dealt with an apparatus of Quailish was in relatively calm water. Even though there were traps and things in it.
It started creaking a bit in the depth.
Like, it started creaking a bit with the pressure and everything, but it didn't crumple or anything like that, so you have no idea how much pressure it could actually withstand. Aaron.
Agdrosol is gonna propose. So, if the sane people won't go there, we do what I did to get into the tower and start looking for the people who are crazy and stupid enough to try it anyways.
They never came back. There's nobody to ask.
Yeah, we asked around.
Adolfo was the only one that apparently went through there, but they didn't know they went there.
Yeah, it was by accident.
Agdrosol makes good point.
Yeah.
Just because everyone who has tried has gone and is dead does not mean we are out of crazy people in this city.
There's us.
Yeah, we're definitely here.
Oh,
So it sounds
raise
like-
hands, everyone besides me who knows how to sail ships. That is what I was afraid of.
So it sounds like, it's just so I understand what the suggestion was. Agdrosol's suggestion was to find other people who are preparing to go? Or...
Who
It
have
was
been?
so no. It was not who have been. He's not that stupid. I really appreciate it when people listen when my characters say things. So his suggestion was essentially not necessarily find someone who's been, but find someone who's interested in building for that specific instance. Some sort of scholar, crazy person, mechanic, artificer.
We're looking for Leonard of Quirm, basically.
I don't know that reference. We're looking
Discworld
for...
thing. But yeah,
Okay.
someone intelligent, someone maybe with stroke of mad genius who has considered this interesting problem and might be looking forward to going. We are not going to find anyone who has gone. They have already told us many times. Everyone who goes is dead.
An experimental shipbuilder looking for guinea pigs, maybe.
Exactly sort of thing what
Essentially,
Agdrosol was saying.
My
yes.
suggestion.
Yeah. Yep.
So, if you want to try to find something like that, give me more investigation rolls.
We will try this again. That time I rolled a natural one.
I accidentally rolled a
9.
persuasion. Damn it. I hate when my character sheet rolls down as I'm clicking. Switching that to my investigation modifier would make that a 19.
Okay.
Heyo.
Definitely on Agdrosol.
Agrisol with the idea.
So, you guys start looking around. And Staphylos, you don't find anything. Corbin,
Yes, I
you
do.
don't find
I find the
anything.
rum cellar.
Staphylos, you're sort of looking around the docks, thinking that obviously a shipbuilder would be building a ship at the docks. And you don't find anything in particular. Hope and Agrisol, Boldrin, you're sort of thinking, well, maybe if I go to the forge, but you're not. You can't. You start just sort of asking around at the docks and seeing not necessarily if there's any builders at the docks, but if there's anybody that's nearby that might be, that there might be. Are there any particularly eccentric shipbuilders or anything like that? Agrisol, you just take off into the air, figuring that it's probably easier to find things from the air. Typically, it is true. And Hope, you just sort of also take off, but on the ground, just sort of looking around for things. And the two of you come across at roughly the same time. Agrisol getting there a little bit faster because lack of obstacles in the way. A particularly large crystalline building on the coast, further south of towards the southern edge of the city. It looks to be some sort of warehouse manufactory, something like that. And it draws your attention in particular because of the Colossus standing outside. There is what looks to be a 20-foot tall golem made from driftwood and scrap parts, just sort of standing there, holding up a crystal to the air and just sort of rotating it every few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of standing next to this warehouse-looking building. The Colossus looks like it was again scrapped together from broken ships, which definitely draws your attentions.
And it's like turning and looking at something.
Yeah, it's got a large blue crystal in its hand, very similar to the ones that you guys saw on the airships previously. It's just holding in one hand and using the other hand to turn it every once in a while, like it's inspecting the crystal.
Hello? I'm talking to the golem.
I'm gonna go look for, the person whose golem it is. Knock on the door of the building or something.
You hear a crashing sound. Hang on 1 minute. Sorry. Hang on. There's the sound of adjusting clutter. Things getting rearranged. Things falling over.
Yeah.
Eventually, the sounds get closer to the door, and you hear it. As the door opens. And sort of opening the door, looking at you, is this disheveled-looking young man. Looks to be probably mid-20s. Blonde hair that's currently sort of scattered all over. Wearing
Milo.
Wearing a pair of spectacles that have 4 extra lenses. Like it's like a pair of glasses, but one lens has like 3 additional lenses on it. Wearing sort of a brown and blue tunic and pants and boots, sort of looking up at you. Yes, how may I help you?
Hey, nice
It's like
magic
weird, yeah.
creation, fabrication stuff outside.
Oh, you mean timber?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Curious what your business is. We're looking for some sort of specific custom work.
Oh, well, I don't run a shop if that's what you mean. This is a fabrication house. We create we do work for shops throughout the city, producing magical artifacts, various other custom builds and orders and the like. What are you interested in?
We've got a very specific magical, guess you could say, problem order, and our forge cleric recommended going to someone with a little more specialized experience in.
We're going to Valkyr's challenge, and we need some help.
Another group of daring do filled adventurers, as it is. I see.
Another.
Yes. I mean, there are many people that see fit to face the Storm Gods challenge, and they never come back. But if you're looking to do something there, I'm certain if you have an idea of what it is you want, we could certainly help. Is it just the two of you? Are there more of you, or
There's insert the correct number because this party's numbering fluctuates on a regular basis.
Okay. Well, if you want to, would you like to tour the facility? That should be the next. Would you like to tour the facility?
Yes.
Did Boldrin managed to make it here, or just the two of us?
Just the two of you right now.
I'm gonna go round up the other ones.
Okay.
I want a tour.
And I'm gonna try and find at least Staphylos and Boldrin, preferably everyone. And
well, Selena was still at the Crystal Chandelier. If you
He
wanted to
never
go
went
back
shopping.
and find
Okay.
her.
So I'll probably start with
I can-
Selena. Go back to the.
So we'll say the two of you sort of split up and go find everybody. Selena, is there any particular resistance of Selena to following Agdasol? Does this require a scene, or
If Agdasol comes in and no,
He explains what's going on if that helps or hurts things.
no, she's fine with that. Once somebody's like, she just didn't feel like going she didn't say anything, but she didn't feel at all like going shopping. So
That's fine.
stayed behind and then
Choose people
plans
with a little
happened
more
from
magic
there.
experience, probably. So
So yeah, she's like, yeah, fine, let's go. Where are we going? What are we doing?
magic fabrication facility. We're thinking about trying to get a boat enchanted or specifically crafted.
Fun.
Apparently, they have a tour.
Cool.
Yep.
Is there a gift shop?
I
Way to
have
find
no
out.
idea, but I doubt it.
No.
No
They're
tourist
not a
complete
store.
gift
They're
shop.
a manufacturing plant that looks crazy enough to try stuff for us.
Yeah, but no tour is complete without it. Okay, let's go.
We're in a tourist city. I can take you to a different gift shop that I'm sure will sell accurate memorabilia.
Oh, I'm gonna buy anything. I just want to know if there's a gift shop. I feel like taking a tour of something is not complete unless you can buy tchotchkes at the end.
Okay, so
let's
here's
go.
my recommendation. If they don't have one, pitch it to the random guy who seems to operate a forge.
So the group of you reconvene under the shadow of apparently named Timber, the colossus outside, who is still looking at this crystal, just rotating it.
That's certainly a good sign.
That's Timber.
Staphylos will sort of experimentally just sort of gently nudge Timber with the tip of his quarterstaff.
You nudge it, and it stops twisting the crystal, and just looks down at you.
Good afternoon. And he walks away.
Yeah, I don't think he talks.
So, the door is once again closed.
Why do you assume it is boy?
Mm.
Does anybody knock on the door again?
Yeah, Voltron knocks again if no one else will.
Oh, right. Sorry, hang on. After a few moments, the
Man appreciates locks. I can get behind that.
and once again, this blonde-haired individual opens the door and looks out at you. Yes. Hello. How may I help you?
Good afternoon. We are here for tour.
Oh, right. The winged one and the other one. Right. Okay.
They're
Tour.
right here.
Right. Well, hello. Before we begin, I suppose I should introduce myself. Yes, I should do that. I am Harbin Valkanis, and this is the Valkanis Manufactorum. Welcome to my Manufactorum. It's kind of like a manufactory, but it sounds more exotic that way, I guess, is the
Baldwin
selling
Ironhand,
part.
Forge Cleric of the Forge Father, at your service.
A follower, devout of Banner. That's good. That's good to know. Pleasure to meet you.
Manufactorum sounds much more scholastic.
Yes.
Professional.
Yes. Right. Tour.
Baldwin, make sure to go and say these are everyone else's names.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right. Tour. Let's follow me. Turns around, moves back in. Follow after him? I'm assuming you all do.
Yep.
Inside you see what could only be described as for some reason I'm losing my vocabulary. What's the name of a really complicated machine designed to do a really simple task?
Rube Goldberg.
Yes, this is a Rube Goldbergian workshop. As soon as you step in, you look around and you see copper pipes, steel rails, and various mechanical accoutrements going all over the place, with various crystals and vials and liquids and half-finished constructs. Off to the left is a pair of legs. You're not certain why.
Human legs or metal legs?
You'd have to get closer to inspect.
Are they
I feel like
ants
the
or-
smell would carry if they are.
No, they look like metal legs. It's just a pair of legs. No crotch, no nothing connecting the two. Just a pair of legs right up to about mid-thigh. Often various other places, there's a triad of crystals hovering, just sort of orbiting one another off to one side. There's the sound of bubbling science happening.
Science?
Yes. And he sort of walks in, and it's very clearly a mess. It doesn't look like anybody organizes this place. You also don't see anybody else. Well, that's not a lie. You do see other people, but they're not really people. You see smaller versions of Timber walking around, moving things around. You're not certain what they're doing. They're just doing things.
Explains a lot.
You would almost assume they were, if they were human employees, they'd be doing busy work or pretend like doing things that make it look like they're busy. And he sort of takes you around the room to sort of and rattling off words that none of you know. Just sort of rattling off, this over here is da 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 da, and this is da da da, and everybody can make me an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
18.
9.
19.
21.
23.
All right.
Damn.
So, Staphylos and Agdrasol. There's a lot of words coming out of this guy's mouth. Boldrin, Corbin, and Hope, you can pretty reasonably figure out what he's talking about, if not necessarily the exact wording. he is an artificer. You can pretty much determine that he's an artificer of some level of power, and that he makes magical artifacts. You can figure out that there are suits of armor that he enchants. He's probably made all of these golems. Those crystal. It looks like he might be the person that enchants the crystals that airships use to fly. Selena, you look around, and not only are you understanding most of what he's saying, you're actually seeing the method behind the madness. Yes, you can definitely confirm that he is the person that enchants crystals that allow for the airships to fly. He is definitively the person that built timber outside, which is not only a feat of actually quite impressive construction, it being as big as it is, but the materials used seeming to be scrap from crashed ships. You gather that he probably has a hand in quite a lot of the custom work that goes throughout the city. This may even be the place where the magic shop that Agdrasol went to is shipping their arrows to get them enchanted. This guy, and you're pretty certain he does it all himself. This guy does a lot of enchanting.
Dude knows his shit.
So by the time you finish up ending the tour next to his desk, which is a large wooden desk cluttered with papers and diagrams and small whirring gizmos, there's a small mechanical bird that marches back and forth across the top of the desk, occasionally sifting through papers. Other small mechanical animals that just sort of move about, behaving like the animal they're designed to, but also like a far more intelligent version. He sort of sits down, reaches over, grabs a frog, a mechanical frog, pulls it over, unhinges the mouth and pulls a quill out, closes the mouth again, puts it back down. Right, so you said that you were looking to do some custom work. What do you have an idea of what it is that you're trying to do?
And Baldrin kind of pulls out a scroll that he had scribbled the rough sketch of the apparatus of Qualish the first time he had seen it, and just kind of rolls it out across the table. We need to make one of these large enough to get us to and underneath the challenge, preferably without cracking under the pressure.
Oh, an apparatus of Qualish. Oh, interesting. Right. You got a nice sketch here, although it only tells half the story. You wouldn't happen to have one of these on hand, would you? That'd be really useful to be able to sort of take it apart and disseminate it throughout.
The ones that we had on hand are currently under a pile of rubble in the middle of what was the name of the oasis?
Well, it's outside the oasis, but it's the Elan oasis.
Yeah, outside of the oasis at Elan.
Right, so not currently retrievable.
Not really.
Let's see, we went and dug a bunch in sand.
I mean, I could do that. Do you have a way to get back there quickly?
I look at Selena.
Selena stops and looks over. No.
Okay.
Also, do you have a gift shop?
Yes.
Then this is a complete tour.
Also, I don't mean to make our problem harder, but I'm pretty sure that magically collapsing labyrinth castles probably are not great for swimming vehicles.
I mean, depends on how sturdy they are. We can certainly, and although really, the parts are all I'd really need necessarily. So long as they haven't been disenchanted, even if it's broken, there's still be some residual magical energy that I could probably siphon off and maybe learn how they made them originally. Although it'd be really good if I could get an original copy. Do you know where they came from?
Let me remember the name of the place.
Taram.
Taram.
Oh, that's really far off.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of business with Taram. They don't really like our airships.
So I've got good news and bad news. The good news is, yes, maybe we can get there. the bad news is no, because once I teleport there, I have to wait another 24 hours before I get back, and I'm not chilling there by myself
you-
for forever.
Well, no.
We can all go, and I can establish lodging for us for the evening.
Could you just teleport to humanoids there?
I don't know if that's how teleport works. I don't think so.
You can choose to teleport something that's not you.
Hmm.
Really?
Yes.
That's how we got out, isn't it?
Well, teleporting everybody was how the spell got out, but the spell can target other people that aren't you.
Mm.
If that's not how the spell reads, the DM is ruling that it can.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It does, because specifically it also says you can teleport an object that isn't you.
correct. You and up to 8 willing creatures or a single object.
Yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, then I could somebody remind me out of character we've had a rest since.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd have myself into a little spell back.
Hang on one second. Let me show you what you'd be teleporting. Digger, and one of the timber-looking golems moves over to sort of a large construction box. Reaches up, pulls it out, and another timber-looking golem steps out. This one, however, has like a bulldozer's claw on one arm, and like a drill on the other, and just sort of. He goes over and like sort of hooks a chain onto the back of it and wraps it around. Okay, so he can dig.
You'd still
Okay.
need to get it back, though.
Oh, he can walk for a long time.
I think if we want to get there and back quickly, we should all go, and I can arrange sleeping arrangements for us for the evening, and we can all come back in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not going back there.
Hmm.
I mean, we can also try working on it sort of sight unseen, blind, but it'd be nice to have like the parts.
Didn't you say that we could teleport Digger there and Digger could walk back?
Yeah.
That's a long
Yeah,
walk.
we just don't know how long it'll take to
How
get
long would
back.
that take?
Well, let me think. It's a few miles. He sort of like looks up and sort of calculates in his head.
Well, no,
Probably take
does-
about 4 days for Dicker to get back
Does he
here.
need to breathe?
No.
There's a waterway. He can walk through the waterway.
Oh no.
Oh, that's right.
Not to get back.
4 days to get back here from Milan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I'll teleport there. I just don't want to go to the into that fucking place.
Oh. Yeah. It'll take like if Digger were to walk back, it'd take about 4 days to walk back.
Perfect. That
Alternative-
works.
Okay.
We can have him just go and come back to Elan, and then we can teleport back here.
Yeah.
It's another day.
Oh no, to Elan it wouldn't take that long at all. I thought you were talking about walking back here.
No, I'll
Oh.
go to Elan. I'm not going back into that
Oh, then that would be much faster.
wreckage.
Hmm.
We could start construction there actually if you were interested.
That's fine. Okay, cool. Can I borrow a piece of paper and a pen though, really quick?
Sure. What flavor?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Gelatin. And he reaches over and pulls out what seems to be a piece of parchment, puts it on the table, and reaches over to the hummingbird and unscrews its beak and hands it to you.
Okay. And she quickly scribbles something out, and I need you to sign this first.
The thing, as you sign, it basically comes out as sort of this viscous blue, sweet-smelling substance.
Okay.
As you start to write, it doesn't seem like ink at all. What is this?
So it is a disclaimer Essentially exempting Selena from any liability that happens by way of accidental teleportation to the wrong place, being hit by a fireball as a result of the casting of the spell, and a series of long or any other random bullshit that happens is the way that it ends.
He sort of
In the casting of the
he
spell.
sort of reads through it. No, I can certainly see how this would be a concern.
You didn't make any of us sign those, do we? Can
Okay.
I sue
No,
you?
because you guys, we're cool, right? I don't know this person.
He signs it and hands it back to you.
Thank you. Last thing I need. Besides, I'm rich now. If somebody comes after me for financial reparations, there's a potential concern I could lose something instead of just saying, ha ha ha, go ahead, try and take what I own.
Speaking of wealth, I should probably, before we do anything, go ahead and write down the invoice for this task that you seem to be wanting. Let's call it a. We'll call it an apparatus of.
Valkanis actually rhymes with
yeah,
to a certain
apparatus.
extent.
We'll call it an apparatus of Valkanis. Yes, we'll do that one. So it's gonna run parts and labor, digger,
And
timber.
I can assist
shop
with
previously,
physical construction as well as a forge athletic.
That'll help. Yeah. Tithe the Temple of Balner. And it sort of just goes through listing various things. Pulls out a thing, writes down. Here you go, and holds it out to you. It looks to be about 6,000 gold for the whole thing.
Done.
Can I make an insight check sort of based on him saying stuff loud and stuff
Sure.
like that, just to see if he's pricing this?
Yeah, I'll make
Shiesty.
an insight as well, just to be certain. But I believe he's being honest, because that
25.
seems pretty fair. I only got 13.
He's the speed at which he listed things out doesn't match up to this length of time you have experienced people trying to make shit up does. Because it wasn't like he wasn't going like, well, I've got to do this and this and this. He was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you're pretty certain he's being on the level, Agrisol. Same as you, Baldwin.
He wasn't trying to use car salesman us.
Yeah. he
I want to know if he can build this, like if he's like based on seeing timber outside and all of the things inside this workshop and what I know about the Valkyr's challenge from my terrifying memories of it.
Sure.
If it seems like he can build it.
Give
that'd
me
be
an
what
insight
I'd
check
check.
roll.
Okay.
You assume he can. He at the very least can build something.
Okay. I was wondering, like, if he was over inflating his sense of being able to build it. Basically, was the angle I was going at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty. He doesn't seem to be overestimating himself.
Okay.
He also hasn't officially said it'll be successful. He's just said he can put it
true.
together.
Yes. Okay.
That's what all the water breathing stuff is for. Insurance.
Also, right? Are we going now or?
Whenever you're ready.
Let me do something real quick. And he moves over to a cabinet and pulls out a pair of things. One of them looks to be like a metal disc with a light, with a crystal in the middle of it. He sort of moves it over, puts it down on the desk, and pulls out 4 little legs from it, clamps it on the desk, and the light begins to blink. And he pulls up the second one and puts it in his bag. Okay.
All right. Let's do this.
Digger comes over.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, this might be easier. He sort of smacks Digger on the chest, and Digger just collapses down into a small, like, hand-sized cube, picks it up, puts it in his bag.
How much do those cost?
They're not for sale.
I have strong questions about I had strong philosophical questions about how magic treats a creature as no longer a creature anymore. But okay, let's go on.
So, you guys teleport?
Yep.
Roll me a D100.
Yep.
Oh!
Oh,
I
bad.
did make someone sign a release for a very specific reason.
Oh, that's a 4. Let's see what happens.
For
on
the
a
kids at
4.
home,
That's a
I
mishap.
rolled a 4 on with a D100.
It's a familiar location, but that's still a mishap, isn't it?
Let me take a look. Where were you specifically aiming?
Probably direct like Selena is not one for giving and fucks as of late, so probably right out in the middle of the big pool area.
So yeah.
Like right on the shores of the lake.
So like I don't know if very familiar fits. It's more than seen casually, but less than very familiar. And either way, I don't think this works.
We spent a day or two there.
No, I'd say very familiar works.
4 is still a mishap.
Yeah, 4 is still a mishap. So everyone takes 17 points of force damage, but you make it on target. Because I re-rolled to see what happened where you actually go, and you do end up on target. So the group of you slam face first into the ground as you appear next to the lake in Elan, next to the oasis in Elan. You're pretty certain, and it hurts on multiple levels. Definitely not the easy, nice teleportation that you had previously, and you're pretty certain you actually ended up teleporting inside somebody's wagon. And I don't mean inside like where the goods go, I mean in the same location that the wagon occupied spatially. Which would explain the shattered bits of wood all around you, the pain you're feeling, and the very confused merchant to your left.
Oh my god, I've been a cartwheel for so long.
I have splinters in places I don't think you should ever have splinters.
Boldrin stands up and casts Mass Cure Wounds.
I thought.
I agree with you, Selena. I believe I got a few splinters in places I did not know I had places.
Everyone heals for 13.
I'll say
I turn and look at I turn and look at our new business companion
Harbin.
and point at the disclaimer.
Harbin, no, I am familiar with this magic. I understand that that's a risk.
All right.
Oh, doesn't
He's
make
among the
it.
people that I
Just
healed, though.
out of
It's better than the.
random intellectual curiosity, what's the worst that could happen with this spell?
I ended up inside a whale once.
Pretty sure that's
You
Don't-
could.
No,
I mean,
she's gonna now start. This is how
What?
the elevator went.
what? No.
You
Look,
started talking.
everything's fine.
Sorry,
Like,
I
the
forgot
worst
how
thing that's-
is terrified of going places.
The worst thing that would happen would be we would teleport to somewhere that was similar but not quite the same place. So, like, the beach in this case. Oh no, not the beach. Or, actually, the worst thing that would happen would be I would try and cast a spell, and what sometimes happens when I try to cast a spell happens.
Lightning.
Like that
everywhere.
time you became a plant.
Yes,
Oh, that's
Me
happened to you
becoming
too?
a plant is me becoming a plant is specifically the worst thing that could possibly happen when chaos strikes. 100%. Let's go.
I was a plant
wait,
once.
this happens to you too?
Later. I have questions later.
Mm,
Forget I brought it up.
I have questions now. This happens to you too? Random crap?
Only on very rare occasions.
All right, let's.
I will explain to him what
Sorcerer slash wizard.
He,
All right,
he- hang on, I can hang on 1 second. I can fix this, and he pulls out. He sort of pulls out what looks like it's kind of a weird looking device. It looks like a crossbow, but there's no bolt or anything on it. Instead, at the front, there's like sort of a dish that has like a spiraling bit of copper sticking out the front, and he sort of looks over at the thing, sort of like waves you all away from the broken cart, holds it out and pulls what looks like a trigger, and this green beam of energy just sort of waves over the broken cart, and all the pieces come back together.
It is very ingenious. What is thing that is what fuck is that?
I call it a remaker. When you blow up enough stuff, it comes in handy. Puts it away.
His
All
good
right.
name needs a little work. I would call it the recreator.
Mr. Valkanis, you and I should head up to a demolished building and dig out some
Certainly.
apparatusi.
I want to go too.
Apparatuses.
Apparatuses of Qualish.
Yes.
I believe apparatuses of quali would
Sorry.
be the plural.
We can all go.
Common isn't my first language. Sorry.
If we all go, I can get us back to my shop.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
I will come and help.
I will look to Selena.
I will meet you back at the shop if that's necessary. I'm not going in that fucking hellhole again.
Like, I know we dealt with things, but I'm not exactly comfortable leaving you alone here right now because I
I'm
think
fine,
might be a
dear.
problem.
I'll stay then. Fuck, we both drink. Let's go to a bar.
We can come back and also go back to the shop. It would just be quicker.
You know what?
I can make a safe place for the two of you to wait if you really need it.
That's fine. That works.
I mean, for a bar. Does the safe place involve alcohol? Because
I mean,
alcohol is my safe place.
you can absolutely bring alcohol into it.
Alcohol is my safe place. I'm going to an actual bar. Thank you for the offer, man of the cloth.
Alcohol is my safe place.
You know, I never thought of making an extra dimensional portal inside a bottle of alcohol, but that actually sounds really interesting.
I think you know exactly who would buy that as soon as it was done.
It depends on the specific instance, but probably.
Like it would be like an
Yeah,
infinite
I
bottle.
seem to recall there are several bars around here,
It would
John,
be
last time we were here.
Endless decanter of booze. Yes, there are several bars around.
Oh my. Now I'm really, really hoping he actually goes through with that.
Decanter booze.
I would like to open up a portal to the beer dimension, the plane of beer.
That's the intermediary plane between
Earth and water.
Earth and water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Thing. And he just looks at Baldrin.
Right, let's go.
And
Yep.
yeah, I just saw it's very easy to find a bar. There are many here.
Great. The nerds will do their nerd thing, and I will drink.
I will
Selena,
do both.
are you going with Idrisol to drink?
Yeah.
I'll go with
Nothing
the rest
else
of the party
to do.
then.
So Baldrin, Hope, Corbin, and Staphylus are going with Harbin to the ruins of the palace.
Yep.
And Selena and Idrisol are going to drink. All right. while they're on the road, because the two of you get to the bar way before they get to the palace. So, what are you doing at the bar other than drinking, if anything?
Drinking more.
Okay.
All right.
Not just drinking
acceptable.
competitions.
I mean,
No,
Selena
I
just
know
walked.
better than to engage in a drinking competition with Selena at this point. Sorry.
That was one time, and I did not purposely make myself immune to the effects of alcohol.
Yes, but
I did
neither
not
of you-
intentionally cheat. The universe cheated for me.
That
I
is
just
exactly why I don't want to do it. I don't care if you intentionally cheat. I care that the universe helps you cheat.
that's fair. Walks into the bar, walks up to the bar. Bartender, I'm sober. This is a problem.
Well, it's a problem we can fix. And he says,
Wonderful.
reaching underneath and pulling out a couple mugs, putting it on the table.
Grabs one
this-
of the chips out of the bag.
And this bartender is a dragonborn, sort of a brass-colored dragonborn.
Okay.
Oh,
Agrisol's a professional. Oh.
Good.
Agrisol's a professional alcoholic, so he will order something that he knows he can keep drinking for a while.
okay. So, yeah. Pours you some mead. They tend to prefer honeyed drinks here. Is looking at Selena. Well, what would you like?
Something that's not going to get me wasted quickly.
Well, do you want it to get you wasted hard?
I don't really care that much.
All right.
Something that isn't going to make me throw up because of I don't care if it makes me throw up because I'm drunk. That happens. But because of the taste.
Something slow and smooth.
There
That's
you
what you're
go.
looking for. Right.
I'm not feeling picky at the moment.
So he pours you out another type of mead, slightly different from what Agrisol's drinking. This one is a little bit thicker, more viscous, and it goes down. It actually goes down very smooth. It sort of leaves a coating behind as it goes down that just sort of makes your throat comfortably numb, but not like unable to talk numb. And it's sort of like this spreading warmth that goes down, and it just sort of pleasantly fills you up.
Sweet.
Oh.
She's content to sit there and let everybody else do their thing.
All right. So, unless there's anything else happening there. After a few hours of walking, the group, the rest of the group, get out to the palace. You notice that Harbin has pulled out some sort of square device that keeps emitting sounds. It has like an antenna attached to it, and there's some sort of readout on the front of it. He's just sort of waving it around, and occasionally it'll start making more sound, and occasionally it'll start making less sound. He sort of looks around, following it. And over. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
What is that?
It is a very
squawking
interesting instrument you play.
like a parrot.
It's you know how lots of magic users can detect magic.
Yes.
This lets not magic users do it.
Right. All right.
It does not carry tune very well.
It's not meant to. The
I
higher
imagine the louder it is, the more obvious the magic is.
yes, the louder it is, the more magic there is.
Cool.
Do me. And then I hold out my trident. Ah! He's genius. Very good.
All right. If you want to start digging to pull the pieces out, I'll start creating a facility that we can clean them off and get them ready to move.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that. He reaches into his bag, pulls out that cube, throws it, and it in midair it unfolds back into Digger. And he sort of paces around. And yeah, it's basically a mound of sand now where this palace used to be. And he moves around, until the item is giving off a lot more sound. And Digger goes to work. Digger just sort of slides the like bulldozer bucket arm in, dumps sand behind him, and pushes the drill forward, so he's constantly moving forward, even as the sand buries him underneath it. And eventually he disappears under the sand.
Staphylos pulls out a small flask and takes a sample of the sand as a souvenir. Remember that time we broke a castle?
Mara?
Can that thing get affected by the magical stuff it picks up?
What do you mean?
Is that your digger, whatever it's called?
It's called Digger.
If it touches, yes. If it touches something, can it does it activate magical things that it touches?
Depends on the magical thing.
Okay, because there was some dangerous shit in here. So
well, I imagine if it's still active underneath the pile of sand, then he will probably die. And I'll have to make a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Will you know if he dies?
Yeah.
Okay.
While that's happening, I'm just gonna start. How long do you expect this dig to take?
I don't know.
Well, let's establish a place to not get roasted by the sun if it takes more than an hour. And I start casting Temple of the Gods.
How long does it take?
An hour.
All right. Baldrin holds his holy symbol out and begins praying. So what else? What the rest of you? What are you doing while these two things are happening?
Staphylos is just pacing around to keep an eye out on the perimeter, see if we're attracting any attention or anybody's trying to poke their noses out here or see what's going on.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Hey,
Corbin is playing with his new boots.
12.
While
So
Can
Corbin,
I borrow your box?
You'll see him jump 50 feet.
yeah, Corbin is.
Getting used to him.
What are you doing, Hope?
Can I borrow your detection box?
Sure. Hands it over.
Thanks. I am wandering around looking for any sort of sign of that amulet or anything else that lady was carrying, or any signs of Nautilus.
Investigation roll.
Okay.
Staphylos, doesn't seem like anybody's coming out around here. It seems like people are, even though the palace has collapsed, people are still staying away.
He's good.
Hope. There's this sort of ambient magical energy around the pile of sand itself, but you don't find any particularly strong spikes, except for the area where they determined that the apparatuses were.
Okay.
After an hour, Baldrin, describe what your holy site looks like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a mouthful. So, what is essentially a chunk of a mountain kind of materializes, because I sort of envisioned that Baldrin's idea of a temple to the Forge Father is a temple that is in the side of a mountain, so it just kind of comes with mountain included.
It just it erupts from the ground underneath the sand. This large mass of stone, like sort of a mesa, just.
And so there's just like the fantasy dwarven door with all of its intricate carvings on the front of this massive heap of stone. And as he opens the door to let people inside, it's sort of low lit but very red light, and that can be made brighter if necessary. But just the sound of hammers and work on the inside, just the sound of bellows and hammers, as it is basically a giant holy blacksmith.
And literally 5 minutes after that, because that's what I rolled, the digger comes back out of the sand, dragging an apparatus behind it.
That's one of them.
Yeah, well, we only need one. I just need to take it apart and see how that looks. Right.
No.
looks over at the temple. So,
If you want, we can clean it off in there and actually make it serviceable to look at.
I mean, you can do that back at the. Let's not waste the effort that you have very clearly put in. And Digger drags the apparatus into the temple. And he goes in and he begins sort of dusting it off and clearing out the sand. And actually, at some point, he pulls out what looks like a water skin, opens it up, and there's just a sucking sound of air as he walks around vacuuming the sand off of it.
Does he have a dustbuster?
It's like a little water jug, but opening it up, air gets sucked into it rather than stuff coming out.
Love it.
Awesome.
Takes him about 15 minutes to clean it off and open it up. Okay, I see how this works. I guess we'll walk it back to the town. Yeah, we'll
it's
walk
good.
it back to
Captain
the town.
and I will do it.
I'd like to sit in and see how it works, if you don't mind.
Very well. You and Captain will do it.
Okay. And he punches Digger and puts him back in and climbs into the apparatus.
Aldrin climbs in as well.
All right.
All right, let's bring this thing back.
All right. And so, walking the apparatus back, the group of you return to Elan. Certainly drawing attention, as you do, because it's an apparatus of Qualish, and they draw attention. Selena and Agdrasol, as you guys are drinking, after about an hour or so of drinking, several hours of drinking, you hear outside.
Well, looks like they're done.
That was quick. Cool.
And you walk out, and yeah, there's just this apparatus of Qualish moving towards the lake. And you
Finish
see
up my last glass. Head over.
And you can see Hope and Corbin and Staphylus walking around it. So eventually it stops and they get out and you all reunite. Right. Okay, so everyone stand near the apparatus.
Okay.
And he pulls out that same device that he had put on his desk previously.
Mm-hmm.
Puts it on the ground, thinks about it, shakes his head, puts it on the side of the apparatus, and then extends out the clamps again. And the light begins glowing. I need you all to so put your hand on the apparatus. That'll ensure that you're close enough.
Have you used this before?
Yes.
Successfully?
Yes.
Let's put my hand on the apparatus.
Yeah.
You all put your hand on it?
Yep.
As you all do, he smacks the gem, and there's the sound of lightning striking.
Hand goes with, body stays.
And you all reappear standing in a circle around the now broken desk of Harbin's in his workshop again.
Oh, this is unfortunate. I think you will need to do thing to desk to put back to yes.
Yeah, I probably should have put it on open floor. I didn't think about that. Oh well. He pulls it off the side of the apparatus, pulls it off now the floor where it's sitting. Puts both, goes back to a counter, puts them away, closes the door. Right. Okay. So you want to make a larger version of this. How large are you thinking?
Something large enough to survive the torrents of 3 whirlpools and get to probably the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
For all of us.
With all of us in it.
Right.
So, something simple.
Do you want to take a return trip?
I don't think a return trip is necessary, but I would like the possibility if it is.
Let's plan for a
do
return
the add-on.
trip.
Yeah.
Plan for a return trip. Okay. He moves over to one wall and just sort of taps on it, and the entire wall rotates to reveal a blackboard. And he sort of pulls out a rolling ladder, rolls up, grabs some chalk, and begins making diagrams and designs all over this blackboard. You notice that as he's drawing with one piece of chalk, 3 other pieces of chalk have gotten up and have started drawing on their own as well. As he's just sort of designing this thing on the fly right now.
I'm glad I decided to drink, because now I'm not regretting my life choices.
Do you think you can pull this off, sir?
Potentially, probably, maybe. Definitely, maybe.
Good. It's better than the odds we've gotten from literally anyone else. So,
I mean,
Have you tried to help someone else get to Valkyr's challenge as well? Because you said there's been lots of groups.
no, I haven't.
Okay.
They couldn't afford it.
All right.
speaking of, I put 600 platinum on a table nearby. There you go. 6,000 gold pieces worth of platinum.
Good. The designing process goes relatively quickly, and as he's going, so do you want it to have the pincers or not?
Honestly, the pincers aren't necessary, I don't think. What do you think?
I believe if a vessel cannot at least partially defend itself is putting it in bad situation,
That is
especially if we are to stay inside the vessel while it is moving.
I mean, I can replace the pincers with something else. How about a blowtorch? A blowtorch would be cool.
Underwater.
What is
Isn't the
blowtorch?
apparatus of Quellish
what's
made
a
of
blow-
wood?
No, it's made of iron.
Metal.
Metal.
Iron.
Oh,
Metal.
okay.
Steel,
What-
technically,
what's a-
probably.
Blowtorch.
He
Good
reaches.
question.
He reaches over, grabs.
I just heard torch. So.
Reaches. He sort of kicks off the wall, slides the ladder around to a cabinet, opens it up, reaches in, and pulls out another one of these crossbow-looking things. Points it up into the air and pulls the trigger, and just a gout of flame erupts from it.
Hot enough to work underwater.
He puts it away, grabs another one, comes back down the ladder, goes over to a bucket of water, puts it in, and a gout of flame erupts from out of the water.
All right, perfect.
How much for one of those?
She beat me to that question.
It's the extinguishable one is 2,000 gold. This one's 4,000 gold.
Is that one non-extinguishable?
It works underwater.
Okay. I put down 400 platinum on this table.
He tosses it to you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
It explodes.
Oh no.
We all die.
You don't
Yeah.
quite catch it,
Why the fuck would you throw this?
but it doesn't go off.
You know what it does?
He just shrugs.
Knows exactly what it does.
So, what you have currently effectively is an Agonizer's Scorcher on a stick.
Nice.
When you pull the trigger, it casts the spell Agonizer's Scorcher from the thing. It can fire 3 times a day, 3 times per long rest.
Mm-hmm.
It has already been fired once.
Okay.
And you have the non-extinguishable version, which means it works underwater.
Awesome.
So, do you want one of those on it, or are you married to the claws?
I'm not married to the claws. We do need some kind of defensive armament, though, so I think that would work.
Aren't the claws also kind of utility for, like,
Grabbing onto something.
Moving objects aside, yes.
I mean, I guess I could put an extra claw on it, but that'll cost a little bit more.
What are you thinking?
The price of the flamethrower?
This is largely my project. I think I'm probably going to be keeping this thing. So yeah, I'll put down another 400 platinum.
Wait, do you want it to be collapsible?
What's that add to it?
Nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
No, is that going to weaken the structural integrity of this thing? I don't want to get crushed like a can.
Maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
I've never built one before.
Mm.
I can help reinforce if need be. is literally what I do as a forge cleric, is make things tough.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, I'm sure you've died in much more painful ways already.
You know what happens when I die? It just I end up somewhere, just somewhere, and we're gonna be out in the middle of the ocean.
I'm just saying that
Can you
of
drown?
all the ways to
Yes.
die on this trip, I feel like getting crushed like a can is the least likely,
He sort of looks back over at you.
even in this situation.
If not knowing where you are after whatever happens to the problem, I can give you a reconnection sphere.
What's that? What is that?
The thing that I used to get back here.
Okay. Yes. How much would that be?
Those are just 1,000 gold for the pair.
Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. I
Sure.
will pay 100 platinum.
Word of recall on a stick.
Basically. Well, it's word of recall from one device to another device.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rather than to a temple.
Yeah. And basically it is
Word
that.
of recall is really fucking specific.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes back over to the counter and tosses you a pair of those same devices.
Yep.
They're relocation spheres. And basically, if you set one up and if you set both of them up and smack one of them, it'll take it and everything within 10 feet of it to the other.
Okay. And it's a fairly conspicuous size.
It's
right?
about like the size of a dinner plate.
Okay. Yep. Does it work across planes?
I've never tested.
Okay.
So no one put those in your bags of holding. Also, can I make as a specialist, can I make a check about if it might work over planes or likely not?
Sure, give me an Arcana roll.
Do your work, Planar Ranger.
I'm assuming this guy made this thing, so what's the DC for the gun?
DC for the gun is DC 18.
Nice.
The 14. You're not 100% certain, but it doesn't teleport. It's not so much a teleportation, like teleport is, so much as it is a snapback effect, because it's going to a target. It's one targeted object moving to another targeted object, so it might work across planar boundaries.
Might being the key word.
But you're not
So,
100% certain if it will or won't.
Either way, I assume that with the 14, I'm smart enough to know that bag of holding would be a bad idea because either one, it doesn't work, two, it works in a broken way, or three, you end up inside of a bag of holding.
Which is also a bad idea, yeah.
Okay.
Either even if it does work, yes, putting it in a bag of holding is still a bad idea.
Yes,
You
it
end
is.
up in a bag of holding.
You end up in an explosion.
No, you end up in a vacuum.
You end
if
up
you're
in a
carrying a bag of
vacuum.
holding.
And then you end up in the astral sea because the bag of holding breaks because that's a lot of mass going into it.
Yes, it is.
So, after a few hours, he finishes his design. It looks like he's added an extra arm, and otherwise, it basically looks like an apparatus of Qualish, but like several sizes larger. Okay, so the biggest challenge on this is going to be materials. How good are you guys at swimming?
We've actually
willing to
literally
fair.
just got
Got
devices to help
magical
with that.
implements to make it easier.
Yeah.
Good. See, there is a particular mineral vein just off the coast, not near the challenge. It's further to the south. That produces a material that would be ideal for this sort of construction. It's lightweight, but it's lightweight but durable, and can be it is sort of flexible when used in large quantities that we're going to need. If you guys could retrieve that for me, it would make this much faster.
I think we can.
How much
we can
do you
arrange
need?
that.
A shit ton.
Because my internet freezes. Dang it.
Can we get a number in pounds?
A shit ton.
A metric shit ton.
As
Alright.
much as you can get.
Well,
Because I'll need
you-
some extra. I'll need some extra for experimentation purposes.
all right. Well, if a lot of you want to give me about an hour to find the temple of the Forge Father in the city and mark a recall signal, I will set that up and we can make our way into the water.
This plan is turning out quite well.
All right.
Okay.
I will begin pre-construction and start putting together all the things that I don't need that material for. And when you bring it back, I will get to work on. We can get to work on primary construction building. I'm good.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Peachy keen.
Good deal.
He turns back and starts and he goes over to sort of a pile of stuff and begins putting it together. Oh, one of you asked about the gift shop. It's just to the left as you exit the door, or before you exit the door.
Okay, I was just curious. I wouldn't necessarily want, but cool.
Let
Maybe they
us go
sell
look,
these there.
Selena.
Yes, yes.
All right. You head over to the gift shop.
Yep.
There is a small cage in which there are sort of racks of things and another one of these wooden driftwood golems who looks up at you, tilts its head, and sort of points over to a sign. And the sign just says, why do I keep forgetting? The Valkanis Manufactorum. Valkanis Manufactorum, small gifts and sundries. And there is sort of a lot of mechanical clockwork items, as well as a few things that look like, sort of like small, like sort of gemcraft things.
Tell me there is a really chintzy slogan t-shirt type thing.
Yes, there is.
I'm buying one.
All right. Yeah, it's got this. It's got sort of the slogan of the Valkanis Manufactorum, which is basically just like a really elaborate filigree covered V, within like in smaller, less elaborate letters, Manufactorum underneath it.
That's not cheesy enough, but fine.
It says V Manufactorum.
Something like I got clocked at
Oh,
you
no.
know.
No, it does not have anything like that. No, it just has
No
logo
puns.
shirts.
Oh.
That's literally like 5 copper.
Yeah.
But yes, they also have.
Getting in gear.
They also have a
And
variety
manufactured.
of what look to be items of some magical effect or other.
I guarantee there's a clockwork amulet in there.
There are certainly amulets that look like they're made of clockwork.
Is
Does
there
it have tiny
anything that
little
looks like
animated
it's drinkable?
figurines?
I mean, there's a sort of a tin of what looks to be like some sort of grease.
Do you want to drink a can of motor oil?
He'll sniff it.
It's behind a cage. You'd have to ask the.
Oh, okay. Hey, what is can of what is can I see that?
As it shows to the can, the tin says "cream of gleaming."
Is how much?
Reaches over, grabs a card, brings it over. 50 gold.
Sold.
Shing.
And he will pay 50 gold for it.
So this is a cream of gleaming. If you spend an hour applying it to any sort of item, it becomes X of gleaming, i.e. armor of gleaming. Armor never gets dirty.
Right.
You can apply it to any item, and it will permanently acquire the gleaming quality. There's enough cream in it to apply it to 3 items.
Cool. We are gonna save that and rub it all over somebody.
That's exactly what it's for.
It only applies. It only applies to inanimate objects.
Okay, good to know.
So it's going to be flesh to stone and then gleaming.
Yep.
Mm. Mhm.
Oh my god.
Because somebody
till
got
something-
arrows of petrification. Hmm.
Hey,
first
that
person
is
you turn to
not
stone.
what they're for.
The first person that
That
gets
is-
turned to stone gets made to gleam.
I mean, I feel like that's something you use for you buy in mass quantity for your sex dungeon.
Boldrin, you notice a pair of what look like it's not a pair so much as it looks like a collection of what are those called? What are the clips that you have?
Carabiner.
Yeah. You see what look like a collection of these strung together with strips of leather.
I'm interested.
You ask to look at them?
D-ring.
Yes. What's that thing?
And it'll hold it up to you, and it says cast off enhancements.
Ah, I know what that is. Yes.
Hold up a sign,
How
50
much?
gold.
I give 50 gold.
Shunk. These can be attached to any armor to turn it into cast off armor,
You can take it off as a bonus action.
or as an action.
Oh.
Action.
It reduces the armor removal time of any armor that it's attached to an action.
I can get out of my plate mail to swim without having to take 10 minutes.
I'm looking around to see. I'm curious
Yeah.
what's in here. There's some stuff.
There's there are a variety of sort of like oil tins that are around. There are a variety of clockwork items and other things that look like they can be attached onto things.
How many?
There's what
clips
looks like
were
there are 4. You can apply it to 2 sets of armor.
Pieces of armor.
There's what looks to be like a car horn. Like, we know it to be an old car horn. You don't know what the hell it is, but it looks like a car horn. Yeah.
What's the horn?
He holds it up, and then he points it at you and squeezes it. And you hear us. Nobody else hears anything. You hear the sound of a horn going off in your mind.
Ah!
Boldrin's headed
Please
off
tell
to
me it's
find-
called the brain fart.
No, it's a horn of silent alarm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boldrin goes out to find the Temple of Bauer to designate as his word of recall location.
Okay, you go. While everybody else is looking at these items.
Ow! Ooh. Okay, that was loud. Ow! I'm talking really loudly.
No one else heard that.
Staffless notices no difference.
Is the voice in your head talking again, or what?
I don't know. Does it respond to what was? Did you hear that too? Or was that just me? Everyone was looking-
Did I
didn't
hear
anything.
one?
Well, you're making that face,
No?
so that's what I
Okay.
figured.
No.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Nope.
Hmm.
Hope's brain.
Hmm. Can you try and talk? I'm gonna.
I am
reach up
talking
and,
right
like,
now.
Can you say something? I'm gonna do
Okay,
something really.
Something.
12 bags of coral chunks.
Sorry, are you talking to
I
me
don't
or are you
know.
talking to them?
And then I.
Staffless has no idea she's got a voice in her head. He thinks
No, it's
she's
true.
talking to him.
At one point,
Yep.
Corbin will tap his arm and be like, "No, she's got a thing in her head that talks to her." That's all he explains.
Has she gotten
Side-
therapy for this?
No, it's a real thing.
Does
Well,
this
most of the
drown
time
out
it
the voice
is,
in my
but
head? my
does not
question.
mean it is healthy or helpful.
Yes, it does. It absolutely
It's
does.
a
drive me.
racial.
I
thing.
want it.
50 gold.
I like how this.
It
I
comes with
like.
a lack of wings, or maybe it comes with wings. It's a little unclear.
I love that Hope gets this specifically to be a sensor alarm for her Deva.
Yes.
Burn, burn.
There is so in addition to that, there also appears to be a set of locks that are made out of clockwork that seem to be constantly rearranging themselves.
Ooh.
There
Lockworks.
there is an orb that has some strange numerals in it that is constantly shifting. There are a set of pipes, like smoking pipes, tobacco pipes. And
Stavros will take a look at those.
there is a cream that is giving off some sort of smoky odor. The pipes, he sort of holds them out, and the thing puts it to its mouth, and then breathes out, and the puff of smoke forms a dragon that just sort of flies at you before dissipating.
Whoa. He's fancy. Do it again.
Does it again, and a frog hemoth flops out at you.
Can you do me? Do me.
A charging minotaur.
Very good. What else do you have?
So that's a pipe of smoke monsters.
Right.
Nice.
They also have what appears to be a lock of trickery.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, a lock of trickery appear to be. In this case, they don't necessarily appear to be an ordinary lock. It appears to be made of clockwork, but basically, it keeps shifting to make sure that nobody can pick it.
Ooh, yes.
Dexterity checks made to pick it have disadvantage. And then there's a cream to make smoldering armor. Basically, you apply the cream to armor, and it begins to smoke harmlessly.
What?
They have. It has what looks to be a pot, like a garden pot for planting. Sort of a 10-pound clay pot.
This is why you don't let your players ask for a gift shop.
You mentioned that there's like the gleaming armor and the smoldering armor. Are there any other similar seeming bottles, stuff like that?
There is a potion that's like a potion bottle that seems to be empty. That apparently, if you apply the contents to a cloak, you can billow it as an action.
Okay, that one's very cool.
Action.
How much was the smoldering armor bottle, and how many iterations was it for?
50 gold, and you can make three sets of armor smolder.
Okay, I'm buying that.
All right.
Do they perchance have instruments?
They do. There are a couple of instruments as well.
Okay.
There is a quill. Well, there is a flute and a quill.
What does the flute do?
I'll
ask
the golem grabs the flute and begins playing, and as he plays, illusory visual effects appear.
Okay.
Like a little spectral dancer appears on
Is
the
it-
thing and things like that.
Is it like the Futurama play the flute and it plays a little vision thing in front?
Kind of, yeah. It's an instrument of illusions.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's a quill that there's a violin that can be played that writes magical messages on things as it's being played. An instrument of scribing.
Okay. I'll buy the violin.
Sure.
How much is that?
50 gold. All of these things are 50 gold.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go out.
This is the
and
toy box
start
shop.
practicing.
No. And there is also a key in the shape of a question mark.
What is that?
The golem holds it up and shrugs.
Okay.
This one's 25 gold.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I
You
know
have
that
a
is
literal
the
mystery key.
best fucking
All right.
It has a 5% chance of unlocking any lock into which it is inserted.
Sweet. Mystery key.
So basically, you crit on a d20 and it unlocks it.
I like rolling a d100. Makes it more dramatic.
It's true.
So, having spent a lot of money,
Yeah.
I spent 50 gold.
Which is not an insignificant amount of money.
It's true.
You all, Boldrin, you've had more than enough time to prepare your word of return.
Okay.
Our word of recall. You all meet up, I'm assuming, at the beach.
Yep.
Before you left, Harbin gave you a small, a small metal sheet that looks to be a map of some kind. And as you step out of the building, the map moves.
We have a mini map.
We've got Google Maps.
Good.
Weird.
And he told,
magic.
he
I
told
suppose that's not super special. I mean, generally, when you walk around carrying a map, the map does move with you. Yes.
the visual of the map moves, I should say.
Mhm.
And there's
Yep.
there's sort of like a little glowing arrow pointing to the south on the map.
It's a quest tracker.
I think it just tracks back to this location.
No, it's pointing away from this location.
Oh.
It's pointing towards where he knows the ore is at.
Hmm.
Although as you move away, as you move far enough that the workshop is no longer on the map, there's a V at the edge of the map in the direction of the workshop.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going to give tourist maps, I appreciate that he brands them.
I'm
Yep.
just gonna keep looking up. Is there like a compass that I can follow? Like just
No, but every time you turn the piece of metal around, the map stays stationary.
Right. Map stays oriented to the ground surface.
It's constantly oriented. It's constantly oriented to north, south, east, and west.
Right.
No matter how you turn it.
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Dope map.
All right. We have to go swimming. See how these things work.
I have fancy fork. I will be fine.
So you have a fancy fork.
Congrats.
Corbin has a cloak of the manta ray.
Yep.
I think the rest of you have torques.
Yes.
All right. So you dive into the water. As you dive into the water, those of you that are wearing torques feel the flesh between your fingers and toes sort of expand out. You look and you see you've now got webbed hands and feet. And as you try to talk, you find you can talk perfectly fine as gills have grown in the side of your neck.
Oh, I've applied the cast off things to my. Oh no, I'm not wearing my armor. It's being remade. It's being adamantine coated. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't have it right now. So yeah, let's go.
So you dive into the water, and you have the ability to move around freely. Corbin, you pull the hood up on your cloak, and you can glide through the water.
The cloak just flaps on its own. I just want to like think that way.
Yep.
And it just flaps, and I'm just like,
And you begin swimming. None of you need to make athletics checks because you all have swim speeds of various kinds.
Yes.
So you swim south and down using this map as a guiding force. Eventually, further out to the south, the arrow turns into a small circle that sort of blips and indicates a location. And as you approach that location, assuming you continue to trust this witchcraft, you find yourself staring at a coral-lined cave in the wall of the sort of the sea cliff that you have been swimming next to for a while.
This seems like the kind of
How
place that
dark
something would.
is it?
What was that?
How
How
dark
is it?
Pretty dark. Pretty fucking dark.
This seems like the sort of thing that something would like to live in. So keep your eyes open.
I pull off a stick off my back. And just
Yeah,
start swimming with
pull. I'm very curious. You know, I feel like it's a magic. Have I tested Storm Herald with water before yet?
No.
it.
We're gonna find out in a second, aren't we? Put Storm Herald out.
You said it, not me.
Alright.
It's a weapon of the god of the
GM,
sea.
do
I
magic
feel like it's
bows
not gonna
work
kill.
underwater?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You pull a Storm Herald out. Lightning dances around Storm Herald.
All right. I mean, it's the weapon
And
of
then
the
we
god of
all
the sea.
get shocked
No.
because it sparks out to all of us as
Right.
electricity
Every fish under 6 inches in length in a 30-foot radius just goes belly up and starts floating.
Salt water isn't that good of a conductor.
It's
It's
better.
better than fresh water.
It is.
Yeah.
Salt,
Specifically because of the
As the
salt.
science people
It's better
go,
than fresh. It's better than fresh water, yes. But lightning strikes in the ocean don't kill all the fish.
They kill a lot of them. Anyway.
I think you're losing this science debate.
it's also the weapon of a god of the sea. So
There's some built-in safety features, we'll say.
Yes. I mean, it also doesn't shock Pauldron when he holds it normally, anyways. You swim into the cave.
Yes.
Do you activate your stick, Corbin?
I do, because otherwise I ain't gonna see shit.
So Corbin speaks
Yeah,
a
I've got
command.
light.
Corbin speaks a command word, and from the tip of the stick that he's holding, a radiant golden energy double-headed axe head just sort of erupts out, emitting a bright light around him.
Cool.
As
I'm a
you
Jedi.
swim into the
I
cave.
briefly consider casting Dispel Magic just to fuck with Corbin, but don't.
Just all of a sudden, just off to the side, hit a wall because I can't see.
So, give me investigation rolls, everybody.
if I'm looking for metal, do I get advantage on this with stone cunning?
Yeah, sure.
21.
Still getting used to my dark vision up.
16.
17.
Second natural one I've rolled.
Yup.
All right. 20, 17, 21, 16, 17, natural 1. Yeah, so Staphylos, you're
If
not
I'm more an eel, it bites me.
you're not used to seeing this side of the ocean. You're used to seeing on top.
Uh-huh.
You do, however, see something that looks like sort of a seaweed sticking out from the wall, wiggling at you. And it looks interesting. It's not the right color. It's not green. It's like blue. You sort of poke it.
Yep.
As you poke it, it just sort
He's
of
dumb.
lashes out and wraps around your wrist and yanks you into the wall. And you, the rest of you, while this is happening,
Do we hear things underwater?
hang on. I'll get there.
Mm.
Corbin, Hope, Selena, Boldrin, and Agdrasol, all of you, as you're swimming along, you find a vein of this silvery teal color ore running through the walls, and you sort of all congregate over to that and start following it, imagining that this is the ore and trying to find a larger load to harvest. By the way, do any of you have mining equipment?
Larger.
No.
We have a dwarf. That's all we need.
I have a crowbar.
All right. As you
a bag of holding and some alcohol inside of it.
And as you start to follow this this line, you hear Staphylos call out in surprise, and then you hear a thud as he hits the wall. You turn and look, and this bluish seaweed is wrapping around Staphylos and holding him against the wall. Staphylos, make me an athletics check.
Okay. 10.
Yeah, you start trying to sort of rip free and break free, but it just sucks in, and you find yourself spread eagle pinned against the wall as this seaweed is covering your arms and legs and sides. And you take...
This is bullshit.
You take 20 points of acid damage as it begins to digest you.
Ow.
Can I try and shoot the thing?
You can. You can all now
Yes.
react
Okay.
to it.
Flash at it. Yeah.
So mask comes off Oathbow, and I have extra attack, so 12 and a 20?
12 misses,
Wait,
20 hits.
Okay, that 12 should have been a... What's 12 plus 4? A 16.
16 hits then.
Yeah. Because I forgot about my other bonus. Okay, yeah. So they both hit. 13 damage. 9 damage.
Okay.
Wait, does the oath bow not automatically add its oath bow damage?
No, the oath bow doesn't do any extra damage unless you swear your oath against a target.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, then I guess you didn't add it in?
I messed up. So plus 66.
Okay.
Plus 20 extra damage.
So 2 arrows sort of rip into the seaweed. Hope was hitting it.
Yep.
Selena was doing a thing. Selena, what are you doing?
Level 5 Chaos Bolt, because why not?
All right. Roll me a d20 and your roll.
19
Good there.
and 17.
17 hits. Roll damage. Hope.
I'm gonna rage and go up and slash it twice.
Okay. Run up and slash it twice.
All right.
Corbin.
So Staphylos is getting attacked by magic seaweed.
Yes.
Okay.
4.
Yeah, I'll swim up to it and take a couple swings at it with my.
And he's not incapacitated, right?
He's restrained
Sun axe.
currently.
Okay.
No, I'm just restrained. I'm
yeah,
gonna hit
then-
it too then.
Yeah, you can hit it too.
Then 10. So 9, 11.
Good disadvantage on the
20,
attack.
30.
Oh,
okay.
not you. Staphylos does.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm restrained.
30 points of
Go ahead and
damage.
make your
total.
attack, Corbin, as well. And Baldrin, what are you doing?
I swim up to Staphylos and cast Freedom of Movement on him.
Okay. Selena, what was the damage type that you rolled?
So first of all, it is. I'm spending a point, a sorcery point, to make it empowered because I want to re-roll that 2 and that 1 on the D8. So 1d6 and 1d8 re-rolled.
Okay.
6 plus 1d8.
And then I rolled a 21 and 22 to hit,
Both
and
hit.
12 and 11 to hit. For
14
damage.
on the trident misses, 26 on the trident hits. Jack.
15 piercing damage on the trident.
Okay. So you rerolled with a 5 and a 1.
Correct. So that was a total. So add 3.
The D8 is
so-
still a 1.
Yes. So it's definitely force damage.
Okay.
Because I'm not. Yeah, and that is 29 force damage.
Okay. So, the seaweed, as it's trying to snack on Staphylos, suddenly finds itself under assault. As Baldrin comes up, grabs Staphylos, pulls him out of Staphylos, swinging the trident, the rest of you come in and just obliterate this seaweed. There's now a hole in the wall.
It is under assault water.
There's now a hole in the wall. You see there's more ore underneath it.
I feel like this thing had like 20 hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ruined it.
Didn't have a lot, no.
It's seaweed.
Well, that's what happens when the ocean tries to eat our friends. We
Hmm
kill the ocean.
Yes.
We spectacularly overkill.
All right.
Wasn't
Following the
spectacular.
ore. Is it-
So yeah, there's actually
looks
more
like there's-
ore. There's more ore in the wall behind where the seaweed was.
There is hole with shiny rocks inside.
Mhm.
The
Is
rest
the rest
And me
is-
the pickaxe.
is-
Yeah. Yeah, I hand a pickaxe to Staphylos and use my own.
This is not part of the same vein that you guys are following, by the way.
All right.
Oh. Okay.
This would be a different vein.
Does it
Is this
look
like a-
the same ore? Like the same ore?
Yeah, it looks like
Sorry.
the same ore. It's just a different vein.
Sorry, go ahead, Mara. I interrupted you.
I was wondering, if is it a hole like in the wall and we can see the vein going that way, or is it like look like it might continue off to the side?
It's a hole in the wall, and you can see the vein going. Like, it seems like there's a vein just underneath the surface of the wall here, that you can't see from the tunnel.
And that one looks bigger, like that
No,
vein
just
looks
another
big.
vein.
Another vein?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go and see if there's more down this way.
I mean, they both
We
look
need
like
a
they go in the
bunch of
same
this.
direction.
Yeah. We need a bunch of this.
Be careful and watch out for the weeds.
Yep.
I'll go with.
I'll yell. So, yeah, heading that way.
Full
Alright.
brightness, 30 feet
Yeah.
into the tunnel.
While I was out, I would have picked up extra miners picks for everyone else because I realized we all need to be mining this, so
Sure.
I can mark off extra gold for all of it.
Yeah. Price in the book.
It's 2 gold each. It's
There you
not
go.
a lot.
All right.
I have one myself, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extras. Okay, so 10 gold.
All right.
We'll
I have
take
a
those before we
question.
go.
Yes, Selena.
Does a particular vein of ore count as an object?
Yes.
So if I were to say, hold on, let me look at something here.
Teleport an object?
Oh,
Teleport
no.
requires that the entirety of the object fit in a 10-foot cube.
If I were to teleport a 10-foot cube of it,
The entirety of the object. You'd have to teleport. You'd have to fit the entirety of the vein.
You have
into
to
a 10-foot cube.
break off enough ore to fit into a 10-foot cube, basically.
So it would have to be a discrete object that fits in a 10-foot cube, is what you're
correct.
saying.
You can't just
Okay.
like teleport 10 feet of the vein. You'd have to break it out.
That said, I can cast Fabricate to just kind of shift the stone off of the vein.
Hello, dog. My dog is very excited.
They do that.
Yeah, because currently the ore is the vein is one thing by itself, but it's also crunched underneath a wall, so the wall is part of it too. You can't just
So
teleport
then-
a wall away.
Selena will then find where that one of these veins will just start eldritch blasting repeatedly across the top,
Sure.
and then 10 foot down.
That's a lot of. Yeah. Is it noisy? I'm having.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you a
okay,
while.
this is good.
So Selena is. Meanwhile,
Magic mining.
Hope and Corbin, you guys went ahead.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Make your perception checks.
They're very loud. Okay.
I get advantage because of my fancy new shield.
Ooh. 20.
19 or 20.
You notice more of those seaweeds on the ground. That's sort of what looks like it's a drop off.
You think? Does it look like a bigger patch of seaweed than the one we saw before?
Yeah, a bit bigger.
Okay. Hey, Corbin, you think that seaweed is like attracted to this ore? If it's magical,
I mean,
or it's
I
got
have no
magical
idea,
potential?
but
Do you mind if I go check?
I have.
For no particular reason, what are the two of yours passive perceptions?
Yeah.
16.
16.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But he has advantage on his passive perception.
No, you don't.
Yep.
It's a 13 twice. What a coincidence.
No, it might eat if because that we saw the other vein right underneath where all the seaweed was. So maybe if we clear it off.
Is this a line? Yeah, it's 5 feet. How wide is this patch of seaweed?
Pretty big.
Okay.
It sort of covers this. So the tunnel continues and then sort of does an abrupt turn down. And it sort of covers a large patch of the ground going over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I were to swim down to the bottom of the tunnel before to like where there's the edge, and I'm out of reach of it, could I just like look down the tunnel and then it's just seaweed in front of me?
Yeah, you can look down the tunnel.
Okay. How
Just
wide is
swim
the
up.
tunnel?
It's pretty wide. Pretty wide. It's about 30 feet wide.
Okay.
You look down and you notice.
Sorry.
You notice a light further down.
I pull out my new toy, just in case.
It's just
Wait.
it's just sort of a light, just sort of hovering in the middle of the water.
What do
Get
you
eaten
see?
by an anglerfish, Corbin.
Yeah. It's so
We'll see.
be fun.
Is it a big light?
No, it's very small,
No?
like sort of
Very
hand
small.
size.
Okay. All right. Well, I was gonna clear away some of the seaweed.
Sure.
Do you want me
now
to
that
do
I'm
it?
at level with them? Well, I can clear out a 30-foot line 5 feet wide pretty fast.
Okay.
3 times.
You do that. Yep.
Twice.
You do that then.
Oh yeah, it's already been
I
fired
got
once,
it.
so twice.
Alright.
Yep. I'll just do one line just to see if there's, because we're just doing it to see if there's ore underneath it.
Yep.
Well, you recall that the ore was underneath the rock that the seaweed was on.
Yeah.
So you clear it away and there's just rock.
Okay. So yeah, we'll check underneath the rock after.
Okay. Pickaxe.
Yep.
All right.
Ting.
Ting, ting. Make me an athletics check.
Okay.
See how well you pickaxe.
16.
So you hammer away and ting, ting, hearing the sound of blaster going on behind you.
Mhm.
Ting, ting, ting.
Nope, we lost Aaron.
Yep. And yeah, you pull away, and there's this sparkly, silvery, teal ore underneath.
Yes.
Awesome.
Meanwhile,
That's good.
back on the other side, Selena, you. And as you've been blasting, so the cave has been shaking, and you figure just from the impact of the Eldritch Blast.
Right.
And you blow away this 10-foot by 10-foot chunk of wall, and it collapses out. And there's probably about a 10-foot long, but like 2 feet wide vein in the middle of this thing that you've pulled out.
I mean, that is a metric crap ton of ore.
Yep.
But you notice that the cave is still shaking.
Can I like make? I think I was back there. Can I make some sort of like?
Yeah,
Was that a structurally necessary wall?
did I
Give me a
cut out
nature check.
Did I cut out a load-bearing ore vein?
Ah. This is how we collapse tunnels.
I feel like
guys, and
load-bearing
it's just
ore
not
vein
good.
has to be a band, but I don't know
yeah,
for what.
Just a reminder, only one of the party members farther in can respawn somewhere else.
Thing cover vein.
Give me a nature check.
Hey, the GM isn't the one causing rocks to fall.
Yeah, no,
My roll 20 is still.
Ourselves. It's good.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but my internet keeps going in and out.
Yes.
That's all good.
With an 11 from Selena, it's entirely possible that you just cut out a load-bearing wall.
I have stone cunning. Can I make a history check with double proficiency?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Stone cunning, because I remember that's actually what it does.
Wait
That would be
for-
plus double my proficiency, another 5, so that's 15.
Okay. And while we're waiting for Agdrasol's nature roll to populate.
Oh, fuck it. It's the same as a D20, and my character sheet isn't loading, so I'm just going to press the D20 button. Because I have
Sounds
no
good.
modifier.
6. Yeah, that probably might have been a load-bearing wall. You're not certain how caves work. You're not used to them.
Can I make a nature check?
Sure, you can.
I am used to how caves work. What do I get?
Baldrin, you're pretty certain that no, the
Whoops.
caverns don't have load. Like
Sorry.
the entirety of the cavern is the load-bearing wall.
That
Okay,
should
everything
be
in the
the
cavern
first
is
roll. So
Yeah,
18.
Same thing for you, Staphylus. You're pretty certain
Yeah.
that's not what's causing the rumbling. However, that does not explain the fact that there is currently rumbling happening.
yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. What would it
It's
be to
open
determine what is making the rumbling?
Perception check.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just
Given-
so badass at pickaxing.
Aaron?
Pickaxing. And mining.
17.
Hang on real quick, Aaron.
Oh,
Could I make a? Do I have time to either use my primeval awareness or my plain sense
Sure.
thing?
Yeah, which
Okay.
one would you like to use?
I'm gonna go for primeval awareness,
Okay.
just first level spell slot.
And what are the things that you pick out with that?
Sorry,
Primordial. It's like elementals and.
it's most of
undead.
the archaic ones. But I'm trying to find.
Like elemental, fey, fiend, undead, dragon.
And at roughly this point, Hope and Corbin, you're beginning to feel the rumbling as well.
What's
There you go. And
that?
I think it would likely be in range.
Aberrations, celestial, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Nothing shows up on your primeval awareness.
Okay.
What?
That
Did
doesn't mean
they
nothing
flag-
dangerous is here. Just that it's.
It's not one of
those
those creature types, if it is.
Well,
What?
It
I
might
do
be
the classic
time-
stop and look around. Like, what is making
Mhm.
that noise?
Corbin,
it
you
might
notice.
be time to go, folks.
Corbin, you notice that glowing orb has disappeared.
I kind of
Right.
tap Hope. Probably
The
wanna.
blasting. Yeah.
No, there was a
yeah,
light over there, and now it's not.
There was. Wait.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The rest of you, Staffless, you make a perception check. You look around and you notice that there was some light. There was a little bit of like reflective light coming off the coral around the entrance to the cave. That light's not there anymore. In fact, you can't really tell where the cave entrance is anymore,
even with my dark vision.
even with your dark vision.
Perfect.
You do notice that there are some stalagmites that weren't there before.
We are having problem,
Yeah.
and we might be in something
Yeah.
mouth. I stab the cave wall with my trident. No, just kidding.
Fucking tastic. This shit.
And with a
Did I just do dental work?
no, you notice you notice you would all notice it right about this point as the stalagmites begin to move towards you. They sort of close together, and you tell, "Oh no, these are teeth. Oh, that's a really big fish that is currently swimming towards you."
It's a
Let's roll some-
monstrosity.
Let's roll some initiative.
All of us?
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
grab the ore and teleport away.
Good man.
Yes.
We'll see, because it did get the
Yes,
drop on
I
you.
Good
approve.
job playing the objective.
Do we
We're
have?
not near you.
You guys will respawn.
Do we have a battle
right?
map?
No, because you're in a
Okay.
tunnel.
Cool.
My initiative is 20.
Initiative is somewhere.
13.
There it is.
18.
Let's keep track of it.
11.
All right, so we've got the monstrosity first.
Mm.
Yeah, that general purpose creature type for something that doesn't show up on primeval awareness.
Yeah,
Yep.
Corbin, then Selena, then
I believe there's a subclass that gets an improvement that like covers for that slightly.
Versal,
That looks out for monstrosities.
then
Yeah, probably.
Staphylos, then Boldrin. There we
And
go.
I'm on.
Oh, and,
I'm on there somewhere.
and Hope's a
I
19.
think
Hope, Hope is before Selena. Sorry.
Yep.
I missed that. Right. So, it's just going to try to eat the first one that it can see. So what order were you guys that were up at the front? What order were you guys sort of standing in?
That
Selena was probably towards the middle,
I had gone
right?
to.
Okay.
Well, okay. So for perspective, and Selena had gone back because this was wherever this vein of ore was, I guess. I don't know if this is the one that was where Staphylos had been grabbed, or if it was another one. That's all I know. It's very conceivable that Selena could be the closest one, Maybe not.
So you were sort of in the area where Staffless had been grabbed. So also you're probably actually in the middle of the group.
Okay.
Staffless is probably the first one actually because he went over to look. He made a perception check. So Staffless, there's a series of teeth coming at you.
Does a 93 hit you?
No.
Does an 18 hit you?
No.
All right,
My AC is 19.
All right.
Nice.
Well, then a 12 misses you and a 15 misses you as well. So this thing just comes gnashing its teeth at you, and you manage to, you just like sort of dodge out into the gap that Selena made as it continues past you. That'll make it Corbin's turn. So Corbin, the rumbling is getting heavier, but it's behind you, not further down.
I'll kind of look at Hope and say, maybe we should head back. And then, how far away was the group? How far did we swim down?
You swim probably a good 100 feet.
Okay. I will dash and make it there because I have a swim speed of 60.
So yeah, you swim back swiftly.
Just
and
bubbles right behind me. Just
you see this large fish coming at the rest of the group, blocking off any attempts to escape.
okay.
At least through where it's at.
But it's next to Staffless.
Yeah,
Always
kind
a
of.
bigger fish.
But Staffless
I
is
will-
like off to one side.
I will get next to Staffless.
Okay. That'll make it Hope's turn.
Everybody get close.
I could run away. No.
Go down the cavern. Do
40?
it. Come on.
Yeah. I really do want to. But 40 speed, so I'm going to dash and get 80. So am I close enough to see it?
Yeah, you're close enough to see it.
Okay. Cool. And let's do some daggers at this thing, cause why not? I can do those now.
Okay.
So
You are gonna have disadvantage throwing the daggers
okay.
You're
they're
throwing
not-
daggers in water.
because they're not designed to go through water.
So I'm going to do 2 target seeking ones then.
Okay.
So it negates that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, it does.
Yeah. 15 and 20.
Both of those hit.
Sweet.
So you pull out these 2 new daggers and fling them out. And they struggle a little bit against the water, but as they get closer to the target, they just sort of right themselves and stab into it. Roll damage.
Sweet. So 4 and 4 piercing and
So
Staffless is in melee with it.
yep. Let's see. Sneak attack. And would I still have disadvantage for like the sneak attack conditions because I've negated that?
no,
or
you've
not?
negated the disadvantage.
Okay.
So
Sweet. Then I'll add sneak attack.
it's only if you have disadvantage when you make the attack that you can't get sneak attack.
Cool. Thank you for clarifying. 11. So 19
So these
total.
2 daggers stick into the rough, scaly hide of this creature, and no blood comes out. You're not certain you punched hard enough in to do much to it.
They come back to me though.
Yep. They reappear on your belt.
Okay.
That'll make it Selena's turn.
All right, so I have a question about teleport then.
Yes.
The way it reads is teleports you and up to 8 willing creatures of your choice that you can see within range, or a single object that you can see within range to a destination you select, blah, 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 blah. Since it's a little loose as far as being able to, we're playing a little loose with being able to teleport people without teleporting yourself. Can I teleport 8 willing creatures, or in this case 6 willing creatures, and a single object?
No. It very clearly says or an object.
Very clearly says "and" on you. So, anyways,
It also says it can't be held or carried by an unwilling creature, but that's besides the point right now.
yes. All right. fine.
And you can certainly teleport the ore
whoa.
away.
Yeah, that's.
Drop it on the doorstep. Boop.
And then it tips over and crushes everyone and knocks over a load-bearing wall.
Honestly, if you
We
teleport it
know
away,
this guy regularly destroys his own workshop. It's fine.
if you
We'll
if you
deal with
teleport the object away, I can get the rest of us out of here.
By the way, 4
Oh,
less
well.
damage
Oh,
on
yeah,
the daggers
huh.
because I could only throw 1.
Oh yeah, huh?
So you know.
All right. 10 by 10. And does this look, as a side note, does this look like this will probably be enough for what he needs?
It's a lot.
I understand that there's no way to be sure because he said as
Yeah.
much as we can get.
Yeah, it's a lot. It might be enough. He might be able to make do.
Can I get a guess at
really-
that as a dwarf?
It's being a dwarf isn't the issue here. You're not an artificer. None of you
Yeah.
are. You're
I
not
mean, I'm a
certain. You're not
smith,
certain.
so.
Yeah, but there's a big difference.
Yeah.
You're not certain how he plans to process it. So there's no way for any of you to know if it's enough for what he needs to do.
I mean, if it's
okay.
not, we can get a long rest and come back.
So I'm going to, first off, I am going to, for my main actions, fire off some Eldritch Blasts at this thing.
Okay.
Just in case the teleportation goes wrong. 27, 28, and 24.
All 3 hit.
6 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. Fuck you, dice. And then sorcery points to 2 sorcery points to cast. 2 sorcery points to teleport this fucking thing as a bonus action.
Let me roll to see what happens to it.
Like, I'm doing the teleportation.
Yeah, but you don't know where it goes. 'Cause you're not
I
rolling.
know. But I would know. I would think that instinctively I would know if it went off.
Oh no, it goes off.
If the teleportation went to the wrong the wrong spot.
I rolled an 80. It went to the right spot.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
All right. And Wild Magic Surge was a 14. Good. So yeah, it and teleports away. That makes it. Who was next? Agdrasol's turn.
Mask off. I'm gonna Hunter's Mark
Okay.
because I never get to fucking use that spell. Hunter's Mark. I'll activate the Oath Bone. Actually, I'll activate the Oath Bone next turn, if we have one. I'll move over towards the rest of the group, just in case, but I feel like we should stay and shoot this thing.
Murder time.
There could be valuable aspects to harvesting it.
Both of those hit.
16 and 26.
Both of those hit.
All right. Ignore the oath damage. So that's 21 total piercing. It is magical, if that matters. And then two hexes or 2 hunter's marks, because hunter's mark rolls when I hit. So additional 5 weapon damage.
Okay. Your arrows sink into it, and yeah, you know your arrows are magical and that they should do a lot of damage to creatures, but they don't sink in, and there doesn't seem to be any blood coming out of the holes.
Does it seem to be taking any damage from stuff?
You can't tell. It's not. It. All you can really see is just like the mouth of this thing and its teeth.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even certain what it is, other than some sort of aquatic thing.
Okay.
Does
Alright.
it have eyes?
Not that you can see.
Mm.
Staphylos.
All right. The trident is out, and we go in for many attacks. Normal 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's 8 piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
16 to hit.
That'll hit.
15 piercing damage.
Okay.
We will spend a key point for a flurry of blows. 13 to hit
That'll hit.
for 10 magical bludgeoning damage.
Uh-huh.
And 12 to hit
That'll hit.
for 13 magical bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And then he will move his entire movement, because he's under the effects of a disengage now, back away from it.
All right. Your entire movement, so way further away from Baldrin than Baldrin can get to you?
Oh, that's right. Now we'll move
you
back,
have to be
say...
within 5 feet of me to be for me to word of recall.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Pretty close.
All right, we'll just scoot on over by Baldrin.
All right. Baldrin, your turn.
Is everyone within 5 feet of me?
I'll say, yeah, that can be within 5 feet of you.
Do we want to stay here, or should we be leaving now?
Can I make a roll being
Maybe-
like ranger and shit?
Yeah, you can either make a nature check or a medicine check. Anyone who wants to.
I will make a
I'm right up
medicine
in the
check.
thing's face, so why not?
Nature.
19.
Natural 20.
9.
9.
18.
All right. For the medicine checks, the two of you that made medicine checks, you're not certain you've hurt this thing at all. Like,
Okay.
you've certainly done damage, but, like, consequential damage, you're not certain.
They're seeing damage and pain.
Yeah. As for those of you that roll a nature roll, hope, big fish thing.
Yep.
Corbin and Selena, you've never encountered this, so you don't know what it is. But you've heard tales and stories of ancient beasts of the sea that live for centuries and basically just eat whatever they can come across. You're pretty certain this thing is outside of your skill set.
We're staring down, and it wouldn't be an aboleth because it would be an aberration, but a giant fish.
We should go.
Yeah,
we
it's a
should
giant
go
fish.
now.
So I cast word of recall.
You all appear soaking wet and the water going with you in the middle of a Tibble to Bowner.
The mask goes back on.
And the fish uses its action to teleport after us.
Hey, I am perfectly
I'm
okay
fine
with that.
Fighting a fish in a temple of Balnor.
You turn around and see no.
It's just flopping towards us.
You think it flops.
Like, I mean, for all we know, we could have been fighting a kraken there, and I wasn't gonna try and fight that.
I mean, I was thinking more like, it teleports and all of a sudden it's in the sky and finally it's like, what's that? I think I'll call it ground. Hello, ground.
I wonder if it will be my friend.
Or it just teleports and you suddenly see, oh, it was Cthulhu the whole time.
That is fundamentally not how Cthulhu works, and I'm disappointed in you.
I know it's not how Cthulhu works. That's why I made the joke. Anyways, so you are all wet and waterlogged in a temple of Balnor with several priests who sort of look over at you. Oh, and then go back to forging.
I think
They were here
calls
when
for
I
a
assigned my word of
celebratory
recall.
drink.
The alchemy jug is out, and wine and ale are being poured.
That is
I-
fishy.
Definitely drink. After
Accents
about
disappear.
10
Given
minutes.
given a calmer moment, can
Yeah.
I sort of?
Jeremy was in the middle of something.
After about 10 minutes, once we celebrate a little bit, I'm gonna be like, all right, now should we go back and make sure I didn't crush this poor fucker's home and person?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the
It's
crushing
good plan.
him is more important than the home,
Please,
because he has
please
that
don't have crushed our
thing.
our one and only person who can make possibly this thing that can get us through
I
this
reach
whole
into the
thing.
bag of holding. It's okay. I did make him sign a waiver, so I'm not liable.
It's very good foresight you have there, Selena.
Thank you.
Given the few minutes that we took to wind down, since I didn't make a check at the time, can I like try and think on if I recall this creature from any stories of any of the deities and their tales?
Sure, give me a nature check.
Nature?
Yep.
Not religion.
Actually, no. Yeah, make it a religion check.
Could I make it possibly a history check, given
21.
that I am a minotaur and we talk about sea monsters a lot?
Sure. I'll take that argument.
17.
So you both recall tales of a entity. Voldrin, you specifically recall it from Tales of Valkyr's worship. It's a... The only term ever applied to it was Leviathan. Of a
Leviathan.
of a ancient, massive creature of the sea. It's natural. It's not an aberration or anything that was created by unnatural forces. It was just, at one point, it was probably a normal creature that, through the blessing of Valkyr or some other simply quirk of nature, never died and continued to grow.
There's always a bigger fish.
It is in the phrase "there's always a bigger fish." It is always the bigger fish. It is the fish that is always bigger. It is said that a Leviathan devours Kraken. It is said that the Leviathan is many creatures sort of merged into one. It is said that the Leviathan is the herald of typhoons and city obliterating storms. Leviathan is talked about in many sort of cataclysmic stories, but has never been confirmed to exist. Might have been that.
We just fought the underwater Tarask.
You say fought.
Yeah, I know.
We escaped.
We
from.
just tickled the underwater Tarask.
We went.
Well, we now have great big fish story to tell when next we are in bar getting drink.
You're hilarious, Stavros.
So,
Not going back.
like, I'm not exactly a monster hunter by trade, but close enough, so I don't really care. But do we think that this guy knew that this was a particularly big fish, dangerous place he was
Harbin
sending
does
us?
not strike me as men very educated in natural history and ecosystems.
Okay.
He feels
Yeah.
more of theoretical academics and arcana.
Yup.
Well, let's go see if we've crushed his poor workshop, shall we?
Or him.
To the workshop.
So, you return to the workshop and find it perfectly intact. Timber is still outside. Checking the crystal. The door is open.
Walk in.
Oh, it's open.
Head inside.
Okay.
Walk in,
Yeah.
head inside. You see the apparatus of Qualish has been thoroughly taken apart. The desk that it had crushed is back together with its clockwork animals strutting along it. And there is a pile of ore separated out from a pile of broken rocks. That is some of which is currently sort of in the hands of Harbin, who has one of his three extra lenses down. Actually, all three of the extra lenses down over his right hand spectacle, and sort of looking at it, touching it, magical sparking going off. He sort of grabs it with both hands and just sort of pulls it apart, twisting it, putting it back together, and sort of molding it with his hands, and very clearly magic as well. Sort of interestingly, sort of shifting it and shaping it.
Having fun?
Oh, yes. This is very good ore that you found. Did you find any more, or is this it?
No, there's more.
Yeah,
There's more, but there's also a giant fish of inescapable death.
Huh. Interesting.
Is you have enough there for completing project? Yes.
I have enough here. If I spread it out, I can probably reinforce the entirety of the hull. I couldn't make the entire thing out of it, but then that probably would defeat the purpose. Probably make it too light.
Why don't they just make the entire plane out of what they make the black box out of?
Exactly. But it'll be enough, I think, to coat it and give it a sort of a protective coat to try to resist some of the pressure of the depths that you'll be going to.
Children, do you have the ability to replicate materials or something?
I can, to a certain extent. Let me actually read over the rule again.
Creation only makes things for a small amount.
Artisan's blessing. The thing that I can do as a forge cleric.
Yeah, I thought Forge Cleric had.
Yeah, let me see exactly what it can make. It can replicate objects made of metal. Let me see if it can cover special types of metal. Real quick. The forge domain, artisan's blessing.
I might also be able to go
Crafts
back
and
and collect some
non-magical
more.
item.
Up to 100 gold pieces in value.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't replicate this.
About that much.
Yeah.
A little bitty coin, perhaps.
Would the orb that I was given, could I use that to activate and basically send orb back the same way that Selena did?
Theoretically, yeah. If you left the other one here.
Mm-hmm. If we need more. And Selena could send me back there.
If we need more, we will have to scout and make sure scary death fish of horrible doom
this will be enough.
is elsewhere at time.
This will be enough for me to make a coating. I can't guarantee its efficacy, but it'll be enough for me to produce a thing.
If we had more, though, it would
It's good.
be.
I mean, more is always better. But more is not required.
I'll do my best to give it a blessing of the forge and try and short it up the way I can.
But I'm okay if we get sucked into this whirlpool of doom and destruction. You all aren't.
You know what I can do for that? The same thing that I did when we almost got crushed just now.
As long as everyone's near you.
I can.
We're going to be in a small tin can together. I'm afraid you're going to be very near me.
Okay. 5 feet near?
I hope everybody's good with snuggling.
What if it gets torn apart?
While you're having this conversation, while you're having this sort of fear-infested conversation, I have a very important question I need to ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leather or velour?
For the inside?
Yes.
Velour.
Velour.
Okay.
Why would that even need to be asked?
Because some people like leather upholstery.
Some people are
right here.
monster.
Yeah,
Corbin raises his hand. Leather.
Exhibit A and B.
2 leather seats, please. Can you mix?
I mean, I can, but it'll look atrocious.
No, what is
Fine.
wrong with you?
I'll pay for it.
So, Agdasol will sort of lean over to Selena. I am also very worried about her. I'm just not sure how communicating that might help.
No one single leather seat amidst what?
It won't be a
What
single.
kind
There'll
of
be two.
Yeah.
Not better. What kind of
Hair.
soulless monsters are you?
The
It's
kind that like to
comfortable.
sit on soft things.
Yeah.
Both of those materials are soft.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, that's what he
I'm
says.
familiar
We
with
will
that.
take all Viller, thank you.
Okay.
2 leather seats.
Any particular
Yeah.
any particular colors?
I'm keeping this thing after we're done
Can
with
we
it.
go for a nautical green, maybe?
Sure. Like sort of a teal.
On the outside, yes. On the inside, I think perhaps a little bit more of a brass. Because, I mean, let's be honest, I'll be the one operating this thing most of the time.
Yeah.
We can certainly make brass fittings.
Let's not
That
forget
works.
who's footing the bill for the giant
I did.
crab.
That's the point. That's the point that they're
yeah.
making.
I was saying I don't. Well, I appreciate Selena's aesthetic concerns and Corbin's comfort
Objections.
concerns. It's sort of bouldering
Monstrosity.
shit.
So teal on the outside, brass fittings on the inside, velour seating, say a nice deep red.
Yes.
Hardwood floors.
Sure, why not?
Makes sense.
This is the
make good
this
sense.
is the tackiest magical item that has ever been made.
I don't know, deep, sort of deep red upholstery with brass
Like, yeah,
fittings.
the inside's got a very simple tricolor scheme. It's dark red, brass, and brown. Those colors don't clash too badly. The outside, however, I mean,
That's so they could find
the
us. and
fucking
look and
Nautilus.
serve us all.
Do you want a name inscribed on it or anything?
The welcome wagon.
I refuse.
yes.
It's not a wagon and it's not welcoming.
I mean, he paid for it. He can name it whatever he wants.
Artistic license.
That's fair.
We can just inscribe it later.
True.
Caracular.
Caracular?
Caracdelar.
Caracdelar.
Kurak space.
Oh, I know how it's
DLEA.
spelled.
What does that mean?
He actually draws it out in Dwarvish runes on the board.
Tell you later.
Okay.
I mean, I understand it,
Uh,
but I don't at the same time because I don't. Corbin does.
no, I took Draconic. Never mind.
All right. So with Boltron's help, this should take about a week.
All right. That's a project I can get behind, actually.
I mean, I'm a little.
Take some downtime.
I
I'm
have
versed
tongue of
with the
sun and
forge.
moon. What does correct alarm mean?
It's not quite the welcome wagon, but it's the first one in.
Yes.
I'm a little. I've worked with the forge before. I can help if that'll speed the process along even more.
Have you ever heard of what happens when 5 chefs try to make a souffle?
No, but I can do the little things while you guys focus on the important things.
You can fetch us tools.
A chef goes
You
to
said-
No, I
jail
won't.
for murder.
If I'm just gonna be
That sounds
fetching
lovely.
tools, I'm just gonna go.
Chefs go to jail for murder.
I'll leave it.
Well, with that discussion being had, and with the plans underway to create the whatever word William just spouted out,
Kurakdelar.
that one, that's what we'll end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Goodbye.